How was your weekend? I want to share some really crazy stuff here, right? And this is all just sort of coming out after a journalist started making stories on this. And I really want you to pay close attention to these tools that Uber is using, right? The one program that they have is called GuardView, and the other one that they've called is termed Heaven View. These are basically spying tools on drivers to test your loyalty. Now, what Uber doesn't like, obviously, is that you are driving on two platforms, right? I drive on Uber and Lyft, right? So their whole idea behind this is, what can they do, or what can they implement? What data can they collect to incentivize you away from the competitor, right? This is all about the competitor Lyft, right? So they want this loyalty. They call it Operation Slog, right? I'm throwing crazy words at you, but this is all Mark Fowdy in the house. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for the contribution there. Much love. Appreciate you guys. So this Operation Slog, which stands for Supplying Long-Term Operations Growth, they have to rely on drivers that stay loyal to Uber, right? So these spying tools, GuardView and Heaven View, are looking at your driver behavioral patterns. Are you with Uber and Lyft? If so, what can we do to keep you more loyal to us, right? And the way you get loyalty from a driver is you throw incentives at them. So listen to this. Follow my thought process here, because I'm going to put the link in underneath. The moment they know, and I'll explain the various ways they can find out whether you're driving with Uber and Lyft, this is a good thing for you. Even if you're just driving with Uber, I would highly suggest, the way I looked into this, right? You got to read between the lines here and figure stuff out and talk to people. I would highly advise you to even register with Lyft, even though you don't have to even drive. Do one trip with Lyft. Maybe just do one trip with Lyft. The bottom line is they have programs, for example, employees, right, in various cities, mainly in San Francisco. If they see a car that has an Uber and a Lyft sticker in it, right, automatically sends them the message, hey, that driver is also driving for the incentive. They have a feature in their tool to take a photograph of your number plate, get your details, right? Find out exactly who you are, right? So that they can start sending you higher incentives on trips, higher earning possibilities to lure you away from Lyft. How did they get that information? Employees in the field started taking info of cars, for example, that had two stickers, Uber and Lyft, right? Taking photographs, breaking that down, finding out who is the driver in that vehicle, in that Honda, in that Prius with those two stickers. Okay, it's Jack. Now let's start targeting Jack with higher incentives. This is crazy, but it makes complete sense. So to outsmart the companies, right? Even if you don't drive on both platforms, go and get yourself a second sticker, right? It is so easy to walk into a hub or to walk into a Lyft or an Uber hub and say, hey, I'm out of stickers, or my sticker's all broken up, I need a sticker. So I'm telling you now, follow my thoughts here. Get yourself two stickers, even though you're only driving with Uber or only driving with Lyft. They're both doing this. They have scouts in the field, employees that are taking trips, whether it's Chicago, San Francisco. Another way that they spy on you is that these employees ask a question: do you also drive for another company, right? That's in their protocol. The source gave a ton of good information. James Brunny in the house, I appreciate you. I salute you, my friend. Happy Monday. Thanks for the contribution, right? So to outsmart Uber and Lyft, us drivers have to band together and always outsmart these companies. They are using these tools against us, right? Trying to gather data, literally spy on us and steal data. So we always have to be a step ahead. So if they indeed have employees asking these questions in cars, because they do take random trips, right? They have employees in the streets that have a built-in feature on their app just for the employees that takes photographs of your number plates if they see a car with 2 stickers. So outsmart them today and put a sticker of their competitor. Even if you're driving with Uber, go and get yourself a Lyft sticker. If you have a neon light in your vehicle, like an Uber neon light, right, a blue one, go and get yourself the pink one. Go and just splash out that extra $5 on Amazon to get another sign, because if anyone sees you in the field and says, hey, reports back to base through the feature of their employee app, right, it says, this driver, he or she, they don't know, maybe they can see them, drives for both. Start targeting this driver with higher incentives. Start giving them offers to bring loyalty in our slog program, right? So the way the source described it, it was designed, listen to this, it was designed to target the driver with incentive and subsidies aimed at keeping them loyal to Uber, the source said. The source, with knowledge of the effort, said the various tools are part of the company's driver recruitment program known as Operation Slog. We always have to outslog Uber. We always have to outslog Lyft, my friends, right? And it is no secret that these companies are collecting data from the passengers, collecting data from the drivers, collecting data from the employees to find out, does Torsten, does Michael, does Ross, does Darius, does Harwinder, does Platinum rideshare driver, does Aaron Mills, does Adira, does Just Be Real drive for both companies? If so, let's go after them, right? Not in a bad way. Let's not hunt them down and stalk them, right? This is not a relationship where you have one stalking you. This is just about stalking your information and saying, hey, this guy is on both platforms. This is a serious driver, right? That's what we know. He drives Uber and Lyft, or she does. Now, let's target them with more incentives because we have that data. Does this make sense to you, right? Or is there something that I'm explaining here that is not coming through clearly? The terms that they gave this, and a journalist revealed it, the source confirmed it, right? The program, that the spying tools that they have on us called GuardView and Heaven's View, right? I would almost say it's the same thing. It's Big Brother looking from down, from high above down. What are these characters, drivers doing, right? And that is where we have to stick together and literally outsmart them. So here's my recommendation to you, right? If you're on the Uber app, go and register the Lyft app, right? Doesn't mean you have to drive for Lyft, right? If you are on the Lyft app and you don't drive for Uber, it doesn't mean you have to drive for Uber. Just be on those two apps, because sooner or later they will see that you are a driver on both platforms and they will start hitting you with higher incentives than the guy that just drives on their platform. If they have data and know that I only drive for Uber, that's fine. Just he's always driving for Uber. We don't have to keep him away from, we don't have to keep Rideshare Professor away from Lyft. But now that they know, hang on, he does drive for Uber and Lyft, we want to keep him away from Lyft. How do we do that? We send Rideshare Professor or Ross or Alex more incentives, right? So get yourself that trade dress. It's easy. Walk into a hub, get it on your on the competitors. Have both in your window, because the fact is, according to the source, that they have a built-in feature for this GuardView, Heaven View, these features in their app, in the employee apps, that can give the company data feedback on you, stating he or she drives for both. Hence, target them with higher incentives. The moment you appear in their database as a dual driver on both apps, you are literally making more money for Uber. Why? Because they're going after you with higher incentives. They don't want you to make the money with Lyft. It makes perfect sense. Knowing that, we counteract and outsmart them. right? So just this video, hopefully share it. I hope that Dustin, Geo, all of them makes videos on this so that we completely mess up their formula again, right? Because they have certain things in place that they keep extremely secretive until it comes out, right? We know that about the culture of Uber and Lyft. Keep everything locked up and secret in the secretive culture, right? You know, and if it drops out, people act on it, lawsuits happen again, right? People don't like to be spied on, especially this journalist, right? She broke the story. The fool of an employee in San Francisco, as she was driving up to them, said, you know, oh, I knew you were arriving. I was spying on you. I mean, it was the dumbest statement. You got to read the article. And then that sort of alerted her, and she started looking into it. And she then broke the story, right, about this God view and heaven view, right? So to recap here, either you go out and get the trade dress, the stickers, you can buy them out there, you can get them for free at the hub. Make sure you have them both in the window, right? Or sign up, download the app of the competitor, maybe do 1 or 2 trips only. You don't want to drive for Lyft, you just want to drive for Uber. But the moment they know that you're on both platforms, they're going after you with higher incentives. So this video is made to put more money in your pocket. Let them know that you are on both platforms. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean that you are driving on both platforms. Just let the company think that you are driving on both platforms. So let me jump into the, I'll put the driver news, I'll put the link in after the, usually it takes a couple of seconds when we're done with the live feed, right? I then drop in the description, the links, and the keywords after the live feed is done. Let's see, Jose Olmeida's in the house. Uber Gold Paula's in the house. Journey with Jordan's in the house. Rideshare 411's in the house. Yeah, so that's another video that I will be making, Jose. How dumb Uber thinks we are by fitting this terminology into the James Campbell. I salute you. Thank you so much for the $10 contribution. They'll monitor you even after they deactivate you, because you can still access your app after they shut you off, which is correct. I got reminded of deactivation while reviewing support messages for legal prep. So no doubt about it. They are tuning in, they are watching, just like James Campbell correctly said, just like these stories confirm. They have, I would almost bet, right, that the clowns running the show spend most of the money finding ways to outsmart the other company by secretly collecting data, right? That is where they probably put most of their money towards tech and engineering with their programmers, finding ways, coming up with names like God View, Heaven View, whatever view, right? To collect data to stay one above the competitor, right? Story like this breaks, both sides know about each other. Richard Feinberg, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the $4.99 contribution. Thanks for fighting for the drivers, and I will keep the fight alive, my friends. We will come with uppercuts, right hooks, jabs, until these guys start speaking the truth, right? They don't move or fly through blue skies. They love flying under cloud cover so that they are not detected. And it is our duty to inject sunshine, clarity, reality, honesty, integrity, so that the skies open up and we see what these guys are about. So I will keep on making these stories and breaking these stories and report on this, because the one thing I know, even after I filed my last lawsuit recently, is that I am on their radar, which is a good thing, right? So I'm happy that they're hearing in. I'm happy that Roy Watkins in the house, Tito Lugo in the house. Tito Lugo, you told me you were giving up on Rideshare. Why are you back? You must not be on your other job right now if you're back at the live feed. So fill us in, my friend. Fill us in what's going on in your world. Marcos Suarez, saludos, my friend. How are you, Tampa, Florida? Good to see you guys. Today, got the wild fighting spirit on here. We got a tiger with eagle wings. We are going after the big boys, and we are showing them what they are up to, right? What is God's view? What is heaven's view, right? In my mind, when I read these words, and if had I no clue about rideshare, I would think that they were very, very positive. I think they've used terms here to gosh, it's almost blasphemy, right? Misusing God's word or his name for their company purposes of spying. Not a good thing, right? Sort of like the way, the culture, the way they operate. Here's the interesting thing, though, that when these stories break, right, this journalist did not like the fact that she was spied on. She was one of the ladies that broke it. You'll see it in the link. It gets out there, and people then, again, people file lawsuits because they don't like to be spied on, right? They don't like to be secretly recorded, right? There are laws in place for this, right? And people act on it. So if you are operating in this culture, right, of these almost sound like, military missions here, right? Remember, they'll have Operation Desert Storm, Operation this. This is almost sounds like Uber and Lyft operate the same way. All these undercover reconnaissance that they're doing. I myself, an ex-army boy, this sounds strange to me how these guys operate, right? It's not your normal company to continuously engage in a culture of spying, right? And I carefully say this, but I think this is where they spend the most money, is spying on passengers and drivers, right? And in this article that you will see underneath, it clearly shows how they spy on the passengers. It clearly shows how they gather data from drivers. And knowing this now, I'm telling you, you are better off, even if you do it with a fake second sticker and you're not working for that company. Let their employee, they have a feature in their app, not in our app, not in the rider app, not in the driver app, in the employee app, to send feedback back to the company. Hey, this guy or this girl is working for both companies. Let's go after him or her with incentives, right? Basically, incentives means we're going to show them that they can make more money with us, right? We want more loyalty from him or her. We don't want them to be driving with Lyft, or we don't want them to be driving with Uber. So these companies are constantly, right, in this culture of secrecy, working against each other, finding ways, implementing ways. And I carefully again say this, I think Uber is the biggest bullshitter here, right? They really are. I think they have the more deceptive culture out there. Dara, Travis instructing their people, instructing their teams to go after this type of data, to be one up on their competitor, right? So it shows me it is truly, truly a cutthroat business, right? Where data advantages help the other company, right? And they will go to any length to gather that data on you, right? So we got to outsmart them, right? And I just say, register a second app. Doesn't mean you drive on that app or go and get yourself that second trade dress or that sticker and put it in your windows, because you want those employees, those fools walking around this. Oh, there's another car. There's another car that has 2 stickers. Oh, I'm all proud. I'm going to tell the company that I spied on them and I sent them some good data. Good employee. Look at me. Click, 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 download, click, 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 sent off. Ooh, makes me look like a rock star. I bet you got some guys that are so gung-ho that, just like you have cops who love to give tickets, right? They sit there all day long. Oh, I give the most tickets, right? I'm a great employee. I bet you have that same psychology of fool working for Uber and Lyft that is constantly sending the data back through their little app. Hey, I caught another one that works for 2. By the way, at that point, you may have caught someone who watched Torsten's video and put a second trade dress in. So I salute you, dear employee, right? I will add the link. Right? The one was on Gizmodo and the other one was on Jalopnik, now breaking the same story, right? So it's on Jalopnik and it's on Gizmodo. I will put both links, and they're very, very similar. They both talk about this, how, and the source said it will help the, let's see, where is the, how do they put it, right? This all has a positive effect for the drivers since they are now targeted with incentives and subsidies aimed at keeping them loyal to Uber, right? Another tool involves having employees. Listen to this. I'm not making this bullshit up. Another tool involves having employees text the license plate. There it is, right? Text the license plate numbers of vehicles that appears to belong to a competitive driver. The source said the information is then stored in a company database. The source went on. Finally, some teams will actually open Heaven View on their computer and Lyft app on their phone and find drivers in the Lyft app who also appear on Heaven in the same location. Those drivers are then tagged as competitive drivers. I'm a competitive driver, right? I hope you guys are all competitive drivers. If we look at Harry's rideshare survey, which I thought was so interesting, I think that I carefully say this, but I think about 80% are on both platforms, right? And 20% are probably, or maybe more than 20% are loyal to one company only. Do they then have to go out if they know that this driver is only on their platform driving full time? They can see it on the hours, clocking the hours. We have a full-time driver here. We don't have to send him or her more incentives. Why? Because they are already so loyal, right? And I have complete respect for that driver if you just want to be with one brand only, right? Or the Lyft company says, hey, we can see by the hours, putting 60, 70 hours in each week. We have an extremely loyal Lyft driver here. We don't have to target them for more incentives. We don't have to worry that they are driving for Uber. Why? Because they're driving full time. We can see it around the clock for us, right? We have a loyal driver. My approach is, right, the moment they see that, hey, is doing 2-3 hours the one day, maybe 5 hours. What's going on here, right? What's going on? They can see on their data they don't have a completely loyal customer. The next thing they find out through Heaven Gate or through Heaven View or God View programs that this individual is on both platforms. Now we need to start targeting him or her with higher incentives. It means you're making more money, right? So the bottom line is, Dustin, how are you? Firstly, a huge shout out to Dustin for really starting this movement on Lady Driver Pro. I want to acknowledge you here, my friend, how much time and effort you put in and how passionate he was on getting this whole movement, because he was truly the catalyst for other YouTubers to jump in and also make videos. I jumped in yesterday. I think we were on $3,700 and said, hey, I hope we hit 5,000 by Sunday night. And there it is. I open up the videos, $5,005, whatever it was. The target was met within 5 days. And one of the main driving forces with this, I'm the first one to acknowledge it, is Dustin pushing the story many times and getting all the other YouTubers to commit and rally. That is a massive achievement that shows, what does it show us? Teamwork between rideshare drivers can achieve anything, right? Can achieve anything. And that we can, like Dustin correctly said in his video, is that we can give them a gift on Thanksgiving. We can give them a gift this season to their family and take a little bit of that pain away and pay for that funeral, right? It's a huge accomplishment, folks. It just shows that if we all work together, right, with our spirit, right, and our input and our little contributions, it doesn't matter, $5 or $10 or $50 or $200, whatever the case may be, you make things happen. And you should be so proud of yourself, as well as Dustin, for putting in the hours, for putting and starting that whole movement, that in 5 days, you rally all these drivers, all the other YouTubers, but mainly Dustin, rallying all these people to collect over $5,000 in 5 days. Now, I'll tell you something about Indiegogo and GoFundMe. Yes, they do take a big chunk out of it. So ideally, if one could raise around $5,800 or $6,000, you can actually say, after all the deductions, here we go, we're handing that family, right, the Hudson family, I believe it is, $5,000 to cover the funeral for our rideshare angel. It is so powerful, folks. You got to take ownership and really give yourself a massive acknowledgement, every one of you, for rallying, right, helping, and succeeding. And we can use the same type of attitude and input in anything we take on. This should show us that if we are using this type of collective energy to achieve things, we can achieve things against the big boys, right? So breaking stories, sharing information, sharing GoFundMe pages. The rideshare community is so, so powerful. Well done. And again, Dustin, I salute you, my friend. So, as I said, the one article was on Jalopnik. The other article was on Gizmodo about this God View and Heaven View spying program. But we got to be one above these characters, right? We got to be better than this. And then the other screenshot that I'm going to share with you after this live feed, I think we're going to go straight into a second live feed. I'm going to have a little coffee and something to eat, and I'm going to start up, is the terms of conditions that, oh my God, I highlighted here. It's nuts, my friends. Here, did you guys see this one? Right, in yellow there. And I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but you guys probably know it, right? So they want you to sign off because they are petrified with AB5, and they're getting so creative to circumvent the law because they're losing on every front. I'm going to make a standalone video on this because I just want to slap Dara across the face, left and right, with this video. And they say, you acknowledge in the terms in the Technology Services Agreement, right, on November the 25th, there it is, right, in yellow. Let me read it to you. You acknowledge and agree that company is a technology services provider that does not provide transportation services, that is diminishing your role. That is the biggest spitting in your face that a company can do to us, is try to think that we are such clowns and that we're so stupid, right, to accept this terminology. This shows the level of desperation, how desperate they are to circumvent the law, to go around the law, to cheat on this AB5 issue, that they have to sneak in this wording. Right? I read these things, even if they're 10, 14 pages, because these are written by attorneys. This is the typical Tony West. And as if Dara and Logan, Dara Kay and Logan Green didn't learn from this, right? From the big Tony West bomb that they dropped on the media when they said, you know, the company is not built on drivers. We're not a transportation company. Just completely disrespected every hardworking driver out there. As if they hadn't learned from that mistake, they try it again. So this goes to show me we have a bunch of fools and clowns running the show that think that we are so stupid, right? And if they're holding the gun to our head saying, hey, we have to sign this in order to drive, I would argue that, you know, this has no merit and will not stand up in the court of law, because people will act on this. This is so deceptive, and lawmakers will be presented with this proof that this is how Uber is trying to cheat their way in to get drivers to acknowledge this so that they can pass and fight their AB5 laws that already set in stone, right? Where they lost that round, now they're trying this. Good luck on that. It's not going to fly. And I would almost argue that if it means that you have to approve this and agree to this to keep on driving, go ahead, agree, immediately write a letter, get it registered, send it registered post. It'll cost you anywhere from $3 to $7, and send it off to Uber legal department saying, I agree to carry on driving, but I'm not agreeing to that terminology, right? So for the sakes of driving, yes, I'm going to keep on driving, but I'm not agreeing to that verbiage, right? It's garbage. So Driver News says Dara has contradicted himself about that in a recent interview. You can watch online. He literally admits that Uber does provide rides to transport riders. Of course, man, of course. And thank you for saying that, Driver News. You can drop the link in there if you want to. People want to read that. But these are the clowns that we have that are running this company, that think that, hey, we're just too dumb or we're just too stupid to not see this type of thing, right? Or that lawmakers will never come across this document here. No, drivers will share that with lawmakers. Look at how they're trying to fool us, cheat us, deceive us with this type of terminology, right? Come on, man. Seriously? Just admit it. Just be able to speak the truth that it is a transportation service, which it is, and it was and still is conducted by drivers. Like, are you not able to tell the truth, Dara? Are you not able to tell the truth, Tony? Do you go to bed each night knowing that you lie, and that you continue lying to the outside world? Imagine how that changes your cellular structure, your DNA, right? You're not showing up with truth. You're a walking lie. You're a walking lying machine, and you're scrupulous and you have no problems lying. Deep down, that'll chew you up each night you go to bed, and it will change your cellular structure, your DNA. I will guarantee you that, right? Ask yourself sometimes. Anyway, interesting stuff. Didi says Uber doesn't do pay cuts, they do deflations. Okay, back that up. Because blah, 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 blah. I present this evidence, so follow through with that, please. Monchi 702 says, will the driver rates ever go back up? Good question. Right now, I couldn't give you an answer on that, right? All I know is that, and there should be another third video that I make today. You guys saw what happened in London, got shut down. What happened to the Uber stocks? 6%. They went down 6%, right? Because of them thinking that they're too arrogant and they do not have to comply with the licensing requirements in London. Boom, slap down. Discontinued as of Monday, 12 o'clock midnight. They're 9 hours ahead, meaning that in about 3 or 4 hours' time, Uber is going to have to go to court the next morning, Tuesday morning in London, and file the appeal. Those drivers in London will carry on driving until the city or the country or the whatever, London, UK, shuts them down on appeal, saying, you know what, you did not comply. We gave you 2 or 3 months to comply and you did not comply. So it's in this culture of arrogance. It's this culture of cheating that gets them nowhere. And investors that think that this stock is going to go up, you don't know the company. If you truly are out there on Wall Street dropping articles or press releases that, oh, we've reached a turning point, Uber is going to start taking off. No, you do not understand the company. The company is built on a culture of deception, on a culture of lies, on a culture of incompetent leadership, right? And until you have people that come in and are willing to speak the truth and operate in the truth, nothing will change. The investor will get rude awakening after rude awakening after rude awakening. The problem here in the United States and abroad is that the investor does not understand the company. They look at, historic numbers. They look at historic behaviors. They do not understand the culture of Uber and the people running the show. It will not change. So the next lie gets exposed, followed by a lawsuit. Stock shares come down again. It is the most volatile roller coaster company that I have seen on the stock exchange for a long, long time. Just when you think there's a little bit of an uptick, down it goes again. The next story breaks. Why? Because in that culture of being deceptive, the next story breaks and the media is on them. So the investor has no clue. And if you are an investor listening in on this, if you are a heavy hitter on Wall Street, making a lot of money in your other stock portfolio, or you're a broker, or whatever you may do, right? If you're on the trading floor, the one thing I can tell you right now is you do not understand this stock, right? You come up with these sound bites trying to trick the public, but the public is educated, by the passengers, by the drivers. We can see what's happening grassroots level and we report on it. And it's good that we have YouTube channels talking about all of this stuff every single day, talking about the deceptions, talking about the incompetence of this leadership of this company, why they always get to the next failure, get to the next failure, get to the next failure. This London thing, my friends, should not have happened, right? Should not have happened. They should have gone full out in 90 days, complied with the UK laws, complied with the London laws, made the changes and said, we did what you asked. No, they didn't. They thought, again, they could circumvent safety issues, etc., etc. London has a big problem of drivers changing out the photos, right, which I don't really see here, but a driver would upload a new picture and then his brother would go out in the same car. So there were many, many people that were not documented with background checks and that, and the people were just switching out photos. It was as if one Uber car was shared with an entire family, right? And if the brother's not driving on the platform, then the other brother's driving on the platform. So, I mean, they were talking about something like 14,000 drivers were literally cheating the system in London, right? Again, it's just what I'm not accusing the people of doing that. It's just what I read. But if Uber is not able to lock that down in that grace period that they got, 60 to 90 days, and they still come out there and thinking that, hey, London's just going to give us our license back because we did not comply. We don't have to comply. We Uber, right? The arrogant Uber. We don't have to. We write our own laws. No, boom, 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 slap down, and license revoked, right? Their biggest international city just got slapped down. What's going to happen to Barcelona? What's going to happen to Lisbon? What's going to happen to Berlin? Just like people are watching AB5 in California, European cities are watching what happened in London, right? They're not making any money from these companies because they say, oh, we're not making a profit. They're not paying anything into the system, but we will use your system and abuse your system, right? And take trips away from trains, from buses, from taxi drivers, and not comply. We don't have to comply. We Uber. But boom, they got slapped down. So this culture of the shock, of the shock to the stock, right, going up a little bit, $28 to $29, boom, going down 6% again. It will be the same pattern, dear investor, dear person who thinks he's going to invest into the same thing will carry on and carry on and carry on until, and read my lips carefully, until you change the leadership at the top and until you are able to speak and operate in the truth. 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 There you have it, right? All else, my friends, just been right on a lot of stories here, right? I made this London thing 3 months ago. I said they have 2 or 3 months to get all their ducks in a row. Go back, watch my video. And I said, if they don't do it, London's going to slap them down. And they did, right? And they thought they were too arrogant, they're too big. And now they think they're too arrogant, they're going to win on appeal. No, they won't, unless they come and comply. Not that you can go out there and write your own laws, right? You're not the sheriff in town. You're not the you're not the judicial department writing your own laws. You have to be compliant to the existing laws in a city. And mark my words that other European cities are going to follow suit. They're going to tell Uber, hang on, you want to keep on driving in Barcelona or Madrid or Berlin or Brussels, wherever you are, we need you to be compliant, right? Just like London asks you to be compliant, us here in Lisbon or Madrid or Paris, we're asking you to be compliant, get up to speed. So I hope Uber management learns from this, right? And I hope that they again don't adopt this culture that they're above everything. They're not above everyone. Elias said it perfectly. I don't think you could say it even better. Elias Acevedo said Uber is not their own government. No, they're not, right? That's just a fact. Welcome to Kay's Nation says Uber thinks they can do whatever they want without following state laws. That is exactly, if you read Elias's and Welcome to Kay's Nation's comments there, that is exactly how they operate, right? We do whatever we want. We don't have to comply. And the investor needs to understand that is how they govern their company. And as long as you move like that, right, you're doomed to fail. You're going to, New Jersey, $650 million, right? California, boom. London, boom. And it's going to go on and on and on and on. So I'm going to say right now, dear investor, if you think you know the company Uber, if you come out with statements in the press saying Uber is at its turning point, it's going to go up, you're wrong. It's not. So we're pushing for change. That's one of my biggest goals here of my channel, is to keep on pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing relentlessly for change. Gary Kubeda nails it. He says, Dara K is good for Dara K, right? It's this ego, me first, don't care about all the others, right? Again, it goes exactly to the same people that make this statement, right? Here, this is how they operate. This is what we say. You will acknowledge and agree that our company is a technology services provider that does not provide transportation services. That's what they're telling us to agree to. Well, reality check here. Here's some free coffee, Dara, some free coffee, Logan. Take a sip and wake up briefly, because you seem to still be in your slumber sleep there. Wake up, take a sip of my coffee. There we go. Now that they're awake, welcome to reality. And I'll tell you something, right? You are a transportation company. You were the person that says we are the Amazon of transport, right? But somewhere in between, you started letting all of these high-profile engineers go, and you started replacing them with cheaper workers, right? Taking away American jobs. You brought in all these visa workers from abroad, right, that would work for a fraction of what our local people were working. So you took all their job, you took over 1,000 engineers out of the system and you threw them out on the street, right, replaced them with people that you're bringing in with these visas that are now programming the next life for you. And the way I said it in this one video is that they have an identity crisis. Uber does not know who they are. We are a gig work. We're a company that supplies jobs. We're a recruitment company, gig work, right? We're a restaurant company, Uber Eats. We're a restaurant advertising company that runs ads in Uber Eats platform. We're a bank, Uber Money. We are this, right? No. Uber, what you are, Dara, is you confused. And since you've come in, you've created more and more confusion. What investors want you to do, and stick on your path, go back to the fact and build and build and build on transport, right? Because everything else is a big fat identity. You have an identity problem, right? You don't know who you are, right? And it's a lie. You're just throwing crap on the roof and hoping that something will stick. Go back to basics. Go back to rideshare, go back to transport, and build out and build out and build out. And even if you're showing a loss here or a loss there, sell off that company. It's not working for you, that transportation company. Get all the transportation ducks in a row, sell off the duds, close the markets that are not making you money, and start making profits, right? Seriously? Do I have to, I don't even have a Harvard or a Yale degree. I have a European business degree. Do I have to tell you that, Mr. Harvard guy, that these are just some of the very, very basics you can do, right? Focus, right? Don't act scatterbrained. Focus on transportation. And what works, keep on building it. And what doesn't work, get rid of. You never throw good money after bad money, right? If something's producing bad money after bad money, you don't keep on throwing money at it thinking you're going to fix it, right? Unless you see some light at the end of the tunnel. So it doesn't make any sense that Uber operates in certain markets at a loss. Sell it off, right? Just like you sold off your China division to Didi and made a lot of money. That worked for you, right? You made a lot of money there. So sell off the departments that are not producing, that are not working, where you're getting way too much negative media anyway, where the people just absolutely hate the service. Why are you still spending all this money in certain markets? For example, France does not like Uber. I know that I've spoken to a lot of French people, right? With this latest thing with Instagram, them hiding all the comments of people that were sexually blah blah blah. The Uber's trying to hide all of that, right? The bottom line is the French do not like Uber. So why are you operating in a country like France where you're just not succeeding, where the public just does not like you, right? Sell it to some other big provider that wants to operate in France, right? And focus on your money centers, and focus on compliance, and focus on laws, and focus on safety in an issue, instead of going this route, right? Spending the money on programs called God View or Heaven View. Anyone in this room that has walked in at this point. So what does Ivan Angel say here? I don't answer phone calls from them. I'm not a damn operator. What's your story, buddy? It's my mechanic. Ruben, I'm busy. I'm going to call you back in 5 minutes, okay? I'll call you right back. Okay, bye. So I'm jumping back in the room here, and I'm reading his comment to Ivan Angel, sick of entitled customers who never tip. I see. Okay. Driver, I get it. Passengers try to call me. Good for you. Put your foot down, tell them. Show them the boundaries. Anyways, folks, quick recap. Story broke, God View, Heaven View, Uber, mainly using employees in that to spy on drivers, to spy on passengers, collect data. Is he or she driving for both platforms? If Uber knows you're driving for Lyft, what can we do? We start going after that driver and sending them more incentives so that we get more loyalty. Falls under their Operation Slog, which, as Uber puts it, stands for supplying long-term operations growth. They need certainties, right? That driver will put in more hours for them. And they know that drivers that are driving on both platforms are serious and that they're performers. However, what can we do? What data can we collect? As I explained to you early on, employees would even take photos of the license plate, send it back to the headquarters, capture that data of that number plate saying, hey, this driver also drives for Lyft. Let's start targeting him or her with high incentives so we get more hours done, performed as a driver on our platform versus the oppositional platform. Pretty interesting stuff. As Journey with Jordan correctly says, Uber has access to your photo album too. Uber Girl Paula says, Lyft passengers are always tipping me. That's why I stay away from Uber now. Good point, right? You're in the LA market. Good point. Good information. Elias says, I think Uber CEO is a compadre with 45. I think you mean AB5, right? Ivan Angela says, in the app permissions, they have access to everything. There we go. Okay, folks, I think that was an interesting 50 minutes. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for listening in. The Kingdom Benefactor, I really appreciate that long-term growth operations should include making their drivers happy and improving driver morale. We got to leave on that high note, right? You can't say it any better. Long-term growth operations should include making their drivers happy and improving drivers' morale, as correctly stated by the Kingdom Benefactor, right? And if you guys know me, if you guys know the Rideshare Professor, those are my words, right? I can mirror them. I can say, how do you make and keep the driver happy? And that is very easily done. It's by bringing in a competent leader that knows how to treat people well, not cheat people well, but how to treat people well, right? So the moment you flush out that executive, you flush out that executive team and you bring in competent leadership that knows how to treat people well, that knows how to make their drivers happy, that knows how to lift up driver morale. It's not that difficult, right? I could even fulfill that role if the company needed me, right? On telling them how to make drivers happy and how to lift up the morale, as he correctly said. So thank you for saying that. It's very important that we never forget that, right? That these are things that the basics that we deserve. We deserve to be happy. We deserve to have an excited morale working for a company, right? So thank you. Oh, I see. Yes, Elias, I get you. I hear you loud and clear. Leo Casamento, yes, giving snacks on Uber Pro doesn't cut it. Jennifer Donatella, what does heaven and God have to do with Uber targeting drivers? I'm going to leave the link in afterwards. So if you've just dropped into the room right now, I think it's rather revolting that they chose these keywords, right, as programs to secretly track passenger and driver behavior, right? These are programs that they have within Uber. Keep it up, my friend. It's has class. I certainly will. We'll keep it up and we'll keep on delivering, jabs, uppercuts, right hooks, solid punches. We'll keep on showing them who they are and holding up the mirror. Alan Mill says, I'm getting tired of BS stories customers would make just to get a free ride. Exactly. So we've heard every trick under the book, every creative way these guys try to outsmart and outclass us, right? We'd write a book on that, right? On their idiotic, crazy ways that passengers, what they do to get a free ride, right? Should literally hand a book of excuses to Uber and Lyft and say, come up with solutions, come up with some programs that cut out this entire booklet of bullshit, right? Here it is. We, the drivers, present this to you. These are all the creative ways, all the hundreds and hundreds of ways that passengers get creative to try and cheat us and cheat you, right? Because if they cheat us, we're on the phone call tying up your time, tying up your money, costing you more because you are not implementing things to get rid of the riffraff, right? So it's, again, they're spending more money on just trying to correct those wrongs, correcting the wrongs. They do all the time, right? They do a wrong and then they correct it. They spend money on it. Do another wrong, they spend money and they correct it. So you're absolutely right. Alan Mills says, getting tired of the BS stories customers would make just to get a free ride. Let's publish a book, send it to Uber and Lyft and say, find a way to cut out this BS. Lisa Hinton says, can you please give an example? I still don't know what it means. What are you referring to? Let me help you. Leon Levy, your message was retracted. I wonder why. Journey with Jordan says, Paula's phone is Bitcoin mining. Gridwise, good. Oh, I highlighted one of your videos, Gridwise. How are you? Good to see you. Really enjoyed it, and thank you for that amazing contribution. I believe, go and subscribe to Gridwise, great channel. I believe they did a video where they surveyed, I think it was 500 drivers. It was an amazing story. It was very well covered, very detailed, very well spoken, the gentleman. Thank you, Gridwise. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Go hit that subscribe button, go there. It's all rally around each other, just like we did for Mandy. We came together in 5 days. We raised $5,000. What drivers can achieve when they stick together is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Welcome to K's Nation says, Jennifer Donatella says, love Gridwise. Likewise, I'll mirror that statement. Welcome to K's Nation says, Uber and Lyft don't know how to run a business. They need the business class 101. So what we can do here is, why don't we sponsor business 101 classes, send Logan Green, send Derek Kay, send Tony West, send Chai, send all of these executives for our sponsored. We sponsor, the drivers sponsor a business class 101 for these clowns, right? And let them reprogram their brains so that they start understanding, treat drivers well, make them happy, increase their morale, right? You're welcome, my friend Gridwise. You're welcome for the shout out. You certainly deserve it. Don't say, give yourself an acknowledgement here. Say, we don't deserve it. You do deserve it. Give yourself a big tap on your shoulder there and applaud yourself for your great work, your great contributions, and the good videos that you're bringing out. So you deserve all the recognition, my friend. Just let it sink in. There it is. What else do we have? John Baker says, also, drivers' lives matter. Thank you. I'm tired of feeling insecure by low-rate passengers. Thank you. And we have provided, again, Uber and Lyft with thousands and thousands of suggestions on how to take that insecurity away from the drivers, how to increase safety and security and protection. We've given them a lot of free tools, a lot of free, good, solid ideas from our house, right? Now all they have to do is take them and program them, right? It's not a difficult. Give me 1 second. Hello? Yes, hi there. Good. Hey, I'm going to have to call you back because I'm in a live feed right now. So I'll call you back at this 424 number, okay? Thank you. Bye-bye. Rolf Stark II says, dash cams work. I agree, right? That money, whether you're spending $20 up to $400 for a dash cam, it could make all the difference in the world. It could make all the difference in the world. There's one dash cam on at the right time, filming the right footage could make all the difference in the world, right? So we need to spend some money there. We need to spend some money on our safety, right? We need to spend some money so that we feel secure, not insecure, right? We need to change that word, as one of our members in our house said, that we need to change the word insecure to we feel secure. Exactly. Okay, so I'm going to finish off my coffee, get back on the phone. I've got a busy Monday ahead. I appreciate you guys. Can we have thumbs up for everyone in the house, for all the great contributions, for our Dustins rallying around Mandy and getting all the other YouTubers to participate, for Gridwise in the house, for Journey with Jordan, Uber Girl Paula, Jennifer's contributions, Rolf's contributions, Star, YRZ's contributions, Metal Gear's contributions. My thoughts about France against Uber, I think partly cultural, partly deserved what Uber was doing there, and especially silencing women's comments on Instagram. So, that makes media rounds in France. The big newspaper Le Figaro in France, in Paris, reported on this. So, you know, what the people read and hear about Uber is not always sunshine and roses, right? Quite the opposite. So I'm not surprised. I'm getting a lot of nice thumbs up here and thank yous, peace signs, love signs. I'll take it all. I'll take it all for the house. We'll collect it. We'll throw it in a big, big Christmas bag and have Santa deliver all of these wonderful emojis on Christmas Day, right? Let Santa collect all these great emojis, travel around with his frickin' reindeer and sprinkle little emojis on all the wonderful drivers around the world. How do you like that idea? Can we maybe get like a little animation of that? You know, Santa flying with his reindeer through all of these YouTube channels, collecting all of these little positive emojis and then sprinkling them around the world. All the continents, Europe, Africa, United States, South America, Asia, just sprinkle all those beautiful little emojis. I salute you. Dog farmer. How interesting is that name? I'm a dog farmer. I farm dogs. I like it. Dog farmer. John Bauer's in the house. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, guys. Let's roll, Tino. Let's rock and roll, Tino. Good. I'm out of here. Gary Kubeta, my brother from a different mother. God bless you as well. We love you back. And keep it coming. Keep those great contributions, sound bites, whatever you want to call them. Type away every day. Keep all that good stuff coming, because I tell you what, they read what we write, okay? And hopefully they take notes of what we write, and hopefully they take notes of the treatment that drivers receive, right? So just keep the stories coming, keep the energy coming, just like we were all able to rally around Mandy for 5 days and raise over $5,000. Together, rideshare drivers can achieve anything. God bless, my friends. Love you all. Thank you.